forget. It's my goal. And I'm gonna forget that was my goal until my partner reminds me, hey, weren't you saving up to do this?
And you're like, oh.
Yeah, we were.
Sorry.
So anyway.
But the good news is, if you are new to budgeting, as in you've never thought about budgeting before, you're wondering, where does my paycheck go every week? That kind of, I budget and I still wonder how that happens. But if you're new to budgeting, there's lots of online guides for beginners. And it's nice ways to help you figure out how to make that money last the month, the week, whatever it is you need to do. Because
especially with inflation right now.
And with kids and families, if you have kids and you're in a family, I feel like it's so hard.
It's confusing because we buy so many different items every month. Mm-hmm. It's confusing.
Mm-hmm. I have to really think about and I have to pre-plan stuff. This episode is airing after most people have started back to school because we started back in August 10th. But budgeting for school supplies, I have to think about that starting in June.
Up.
Yeah, and they ask for so much stuff and they don't even use half the shit. That's the part that bothers me the most. I'm like, but did you use it? And they're like, no. Well, why are you asking for it?
I tried starting with a daycare, and that particular daycare had a list to buy for. Oh. And I was like, okay, whatever. And so I went out and I bought all of those items. Now, my child, again, like I told y'all, he got kicked out of multiple daycares. So this is one of the daycares he got kicked out of. In the first day, within 2 hours. Yes, I said that correctly. And what happened was I dropped off 5 bags of shit, which I was totally cool with buying because I want the kids to have what they need to play arts and crafts or whatever. So I buy all these markers and I got special ones because I'm extra like that, and there were all the colors of skin tones. And I just thought that box was so stinking cool and inclusive. I was like, I have to buy this thing. So I did. And it wasn't expensive by any means. Anyway, so I bought all this extra stuff. I take it up there. And then within 2 hours, I had him in my car.
That was
and he was no longer allowed to. Now, to their credit, the manager did tell me, you're more than welcome to gather your supplies. We'll do our best to collect them. And I said, no, it's okay. I appreciate y'all working with him today and this and that. I might be a doormat.
You're like, I'm too nice.
But my child was a handful that day, so it was a bad first day.
Yeah, that happens, right?
And no second day.
But that's part of it, though, is planning and knowing you have to buy all these supplies and preparing for it. Oh my gosh! If the men don't stop texting us, I might kill them. So
my phone is not in the room.
Sorry. So first thing you need to know when budgeting is your income. Income is how much you make on a paycheck, whether that be monthly or biweekly. Most people are one or the other. Few people I know are weekly, they get paid every week. But you should know what that totals up to, because then you have to set goals, and you can only do that once you know what your expenses are going to be. So either for the week, for the month, however you like to budget. But your rent, your mortgage, those are things you have to plan for. Your electricity bill, your water bill, car note, car insurance, health insurance. I'm trying to think, what else would you throw in there? Daycare expenses, right? Those would be expenses you would need to think about when you're planning your budget and listing out your expenses.
And even if it's not school supplies at the beginning of the year, they all have projects now. Mm-hmm. No matter what age. Small children, my nephews are coming home and having projects. So you just know that you're going to have to buy those spur of the moment.
You always plan for
project packages.
Extra stuff throughout the month. There always has to be a backup of an emergency spending. So plan that out with your expenses, right? And then you have to plan first with your needs and your wants. We've been working on that a lot with the kids, is needs versus wants, right? I need food to live. I want the ice cream.
Right. I definitely need Bluebell some days.
But you can't need it every day.
I have a really cute shirt that says, I get cranky without my Bluebell. It has got a Bluebell tub with a crank on it.
I saw it. Your sister got that for you.
She did. I don't buy my own clothes, by the way. Rosie's an odd duck, if y'all haven't kind of gathered some of the
But it is a super cute shirt.
Me. I love it. I'm obsessed with it.
She didn't buy me one. I'm kind of upset with her.
So rude.
I know, right? I'm going to have to talk with
friends.
Her. Buy me clothes. But, so, needs. I need a house to live in, so guess what I'm going to pay for first is my house and my car, because I have to get to my job. So those are things I like to prioritize. I'm really stuck right now on the show Blue Bloods, and it's mostly because of Tom Selleck. I think he is hot. He's always been hot. He is way outside my age range. I'm well aware of that, but I don't know. I just think he's a very sexy man.
I wish I was more capable of knowing people by their names, because I don't know who that is. I'm sure I would know if I saw the human.
If you saw him, you'd be like, yeah, I can
But
see
I'm
that.
pretty much Gordon Ramsay and Chris Pratt. Like, that's the two.
He is so...
I am aware of who Taylor Swift is, and she's gorgeous, so I do know her.
But, so, I'm stuck on Blue Bloods, and like I said, it's because Tom Selleck is in it. So, y'all, if you know who Tom... You know who Tom Selleck... Anyway, I'm digress. But, so his character in that, he plays the chief, the police commissioner.
Okay.
And so, one of the things, he's having a discussion with one of his children about, or maybe it's his grandchildren. Anyway, I digress. They're having a discussion about how to pay bills and what do you consider important. And he says, always pay your car note first, because you can live in your car, you can't drive your house. You get it?
That makes sense.
You get it? Like, because you have to get to work. You have to, how else are you going to pay for something? You have to be able to get to your job. So it makes sense. So anyway, you can take that however you want. I pay my mortgage and my car note as like priorities, and my electricity. Everything else is secondary.
Right. And
my food is secondary.
If we fall behind a month on certain bills, it's going to be okay.
And we will live.
So there's this really cool thing that I saw online, and I'm sure I saw it on Instagram or something. And there's individuals out there that are teaching their children how the negatives work in getting paid. Your not salary, your, what's the word I'm looking for a kid?
Chores, income.
Your money for chores.
Yeah, allowance.
Allowances.
There's the word.
So they have a chore chart. And what's great is as they complete chores, they're accruing money, $1 at a time or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then if their sibling gets done with all their chores, they can take some of the chores from the other siblings that have not completed their chores yet and make the money off of those chores. And so that child is getting less income than the others. And I think that's hilarious, number one. But number two, super helpful. And I kind of wish I could do that to myself just a little bit. Like, I don't want anyone else doing it to me because I already got enough hardships in my life than having to deal with those kind of conversations. But if I could do something similar to myself, it might help me being a little more conscientious of what I'm spending and when I'm spending it. Because, I made some bad decisions earlier this month, and I drank solid Dr. Peppers for a week.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the month, I'm not allowed to be extra and go out and buy me cheesecake or whatever.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is, but whatever it is.
A TV. I don't know. I don't buy many TVs, so I don't think I've ever bought a TV.
You're like, I don't know where it falls on the scale, but, TV.
For other humans, I feel like that's a big deal, going out and buying a TV.
But, so, I think in those terms, right? Like, if I spend the money now, what am I going to have later to do what I want to do? And so I'm very conscientious of how I'm keeping my money, how I save my money, and how it gets saved. So how my husband and I manage our budget and our bills is we have an account that we put all our bill paying money into. And so that's what the bills get paid out of. Anything that doesn't go into the bill
because it also has auto draft, right?
It has auto draft on it.
So that's nice.
So anything that is not a bill and is not an expense isn't on that account. And that means that money that's left in our account, our personal, because we each have our own. I've been married before. He's been single a long time. Like, we just kept our own checking accounts, but we have this one account together that all our bills get dumped into, and that's what pays everything out of.
Exactly.
And I think it works well for us because I know that the money is in there every month, and then my play money is my play money, and it's mine, and it's in my wallet, and I do whatever the hell I want with it. Nobody.
But we're talking about budgeting.
But it's mine, and I can budget.
So you're budgeting
but I can
yourself.
budget it however I want to because I know I'm like, all right. So mortgage is paid.
And your
Electricity
husband
is paid.
can buy a 5 by 7 poster of Pikachu. Did I bring that up?
You did bring that. This is a sore topic for
shouldn't.
us right now.
I love this topic. I've been talking about it since it's entered the household. I do love the poster, by the way.
He said it was a 5 by 3, and in my mind, I'm thinking a 5 by 3 photo, and not a 5 by 3.
I don't know. It's gigantic. It
It's a
fills up a
5
wall.
by 3 fucking poster.
It's a really cool poster. I do really like it.
It is cool.
But I love talking about it.
It's cool.
And I love talking about how much space there is on the wall.
Yeah, she was helping him, like, plan to rearrange my entire living room to
It was great.
emphasize. And I was like, no, do not encourage his behavior.
We just need to encourage the Tetrising to get it just right. So it's like, what's his name's house? Mr. Krabs in SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yeah, there you go.
You know how the wall, and they're having to paint the wall, and they're like blowing a drop of paint around the little picture frames.
Yeah, it's
or painting with a single nose hair.
That's what it looks
I remember
like.
far too much about the SpongeBob SquarePants episode.
You're like that episode where they're painting. But no, he did. He budgeted for a year for that. Like, he saved and he planned. And in my mind, I'm thinking it's some, like, special autograph photo. I did not realize it was a gigantic poster he was saving for, so my bad. And I should have asked more questions. But he did. He saved and he planned and he budgeted for that for an entire year. So kudos to him.
It's a really cool poster.
It's something. That's all I'm going to say. It's something.
I really want a poster of a mama T-Rex and a baby T-Rex.
I'm going to make that happen for you.
But I don't know how. I might just have to paint it myself.
I'm going to make it happen for you. That's your Christmas gift. You're welcome. So important.
You're like, challenge accepted.
Challenge accepted. I know your husband's going to love it.
It's going to be great.
You should always review your budget regularly. I personally review mine on a, like, weekly basis. But that's because I'm paranoid about things like money. And so I'm constantly watching it.
Overdrafted.
Yeah.
Not paying attention.
Yeah. So constantly, I'm not saying maybe every day. Some people do. I know people that check their account balances every day to make sure
I definitely don't do
transactions go through. But I'm like a weekly person. I'm like, okay, I know this bill should have paid. I just want to confirm that it went through on this due date and that it went through and that I'm still where I'm supposed to be or where I think I'm supposed to be.
Well, it's also really important because a lot of times the numbers change per month, even if it's an auto draft. So I've had multiple bills where they change the price per month, and I know that's not super common, but I have had that happen.
Well, your electric bill's going to change every month. Maybe your water bill changes. I
have a lot of medical bills.
You have medical bills.
So they change a lot.
Those change. I was trying to think. My phone bill changes a little bit every month, but I think it depends on downloads and stuff.
Okay.
Like if somebody gets something extra, then it gets charged to the account. But those are like few and far between. But TV subscriptions, those tend to stay the same. But those have to be considered part of your budget. We have used an Excel sheet to plan out our budget, to make it to where you can see it lined out. Like, I love Excel. It makes me very happy, and I use it a lot in my job.
They also have free budgeting Excel spreadsheets that are already pre-built, and you fill it in.
You just literally click on Excel.
Sometimes they're really hard
to use.
To figure out, because the formula's in them, and then if you change something, it messes the whole thing up.
But if you're good with formulas and creating your own stuff,
there's free ones on there that are fantastic.
But you can literally, like, put in, okay, here's my monthly income, here's my monthly expenses, and it, like, lists them all out, not just a number. Like, it lists them out by amount.
And you can put how much you're putting in your retirement, how much you're putting in this, how much, all of those monies you can put in there, too. And
I recommend rounding up when you're planning your bills. Like, not saying you have to pay up, but when you're budgeting, plan up. So let's say you know your electric bill is going to be $197. Just go ahead and say it's $200. Just say it's $200.
It's a little extra cushion.
And it's just a cushion, because what if your phone bill is usually $200 and it comes in at $201? You've got that extra money already set aside, and it helps balance that out. It might be not a great example, but that's what I do. Like, literally everything when I budget rounds up. Always.
My hardest thing right now is my grocery bill. because I used to go in and be like $50 to $100, and now I go in, it's $100 to $150
every time. It doesn't matter. I swear I just bought milk and eggs.